About 2 years ago, I went shopping and I remember I went to Old Navy and I tried on a pair of jeans and they didn't fit me and I sat and I cried in the change room because they didn't fit me. Because I hated myself. And then I went home and cried some more. And now today, I'm going out, I'm going shopping, and I look in the mirror. If it doesn't fit me, I get a size bigger. Because I literally don't care. Why do you care? Why do I care? Who gives a shit? If it doesn't fit you, it doesn't fit. I literally can't wrap my head around why I cried in that change room.
I've said this before. I don't think shame or tears are necessary if you gain weight, but something you should realize is that every person who has lost a significant amount of their mobility because of their size has passed many obvious signs that they need to reevaluate their relationship with food. And consistently going up in jean sizes is one of those signs. I just think there's a happy medium between shaming ourselves for gaining weight and completely ignoring it. This entire video is covering this woman, and I originally didn't mean for that to be the case, but the more I looked at this woman's content, the more I realized that she's such a fascinating case study on fat acceptance that I had to show all of her videos together. And you'll see why as we go through.
I am back with part 4 of things you may not realize plus size people have to go through every single day. Let's talk about designated plus size sections. I was at Winners the other day and I had to go to a whole different section of the store just to find plus size clothes because for some reason they couldn't include it with the normal sizes. It is beyond embarrassing going shopping with your friends and not even being able to shop in the same section as them because your clothes are on the other side of the store, hidden away in the back from everything else. And I don't really think I need to go into detail about how embarrassing that one is because I'm pretty sure it speaks for itself. Amusement park rides. I love roller coasters and rides like that, but I'm so scared to go to the fair with my boyfriend because he's very small, and if I don't fit in anything, it's going to be beyond humiliating for me. I've never had that issue personally, but I also have gained a lot of weight since I've gone to a fair last, so I'm sure that I will probably be having that issue. Last time I went, I wasn't even that big, but I remember my hips being squeezed by the little seats. It really sucks missing out on fun experiences like this just because of your weight. Another which I know I've talked about before, but not in this series, is just people assuming you're fat because you eat too much. Personally, I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, which makes it very easy for me to gain weight and very hard for me to lose it, no matter what I eat. So next time you go to comment on somebody's weight, maybe think twice. Let me know if you guys have anything else in the comments.
So you have to shop in a different section of the store than your friends. Yeah, that's inconvenient and not as fun, but it's not a big deal. I have friends that have to shop in the kids section for shoes when we go out shopping, but it's not a big issue and definitely not big enough that they complain about it. If anything, they joke about it. And I think this is only embarrassing if you either have friends that make fun of you for shopping in a different section, which it doesn't seem like they do, or you personally think that your size is embarrassing, which is more likely and probably something you should deal with. Not being able to fit into roller coasters is just a consequence of your size, pure and simple. And the vast majority of people that are fat because they eat too much, even with conditions like PCOS. And while you may be right that PCOS makes it more difficult to lose weight, you are wrong when you say that you can't lose weight no matter what you eat. According to research, PCOS is closely tied to problems with insulin resistance, like type 2 diabetes. And just like type 2 diabetes, PCOS can be managed with dietary changes. In fact, most, if not all of the sources you find talking about the management of PCOS say that losing weight and lifestyle changes like that can greatly reduce the negative effects of PCOS if the person that has it is overweight. So no, you're not stuck being fat because of your PCOS, and what you eat does matter.
I made a video a while ago about how bath towels don't fully fit around me because I'm plus size, and a lot of people seem to be very shocked by that. So I wanted to make this video and say a bunch of other things that people might not realize plus size people have to deal with every day. Number 1, seating at a restaurant. Perfect example, I went to Red Robin with my best friends a couple weeks ago, and the table and the benches were like bolted into the ground, so I couldn't move them at all, and my stomach was like smushed against the table. And I don't think I'm like extremely obese, so I can imagine people bigger than me going to the restaurant. I don't even know what they would do. Next one, getting in and out of cars. I'm always so stressed out when whoever I'm with parks right beside another car because I never know if I'm gonna have space to get out. I have to try and squeeze my boobs and my butt in the little space so I don't hit the car with the door. 3, just walking into any clothing store. The second I walk into anywhere, I feel like everyone's eyes are on me, thinking that nothing in that store is gonna fit me. How would you feel if you walked into a store full of extremely trendy clothes and nothing fit you? I'm looking at this shirt at Aritzia that I think is adorable and I was putting my money on, but there's no way it's getting over my boobs. I could go on about this forever, but I don't want to take up your time. Let me know if you want a part 2.
Point number 1, tables don't fit you. That's just a consequence of your size and nothing more. Eating at restaurants comfortably is not a right. Point number 2, getting out of cars is difficult. I think that's pretty much everyone. Parking spaces are small, and as this woman said, your boobs can get squished, which is annoying, but you can also be skinny with big boobs, and that is still a problem. So this is a non-issue. And point number 3, clothing shopping is less convenient. Something that is very telling about this point is that she said, quote, "The second I walk into any clothing store, I feel like all eyes are on me." This tells me that this woman is very insecure about her size, and that insecurity leads her to being very self-conscious about her body, especially in places where she feels like her body might be under more scrutiny than normal, like in a clothing store. Like I said before, the only other reason you would feel insecure is if the people around you were openly being judgmental, but the next clip shows that she acknowledges that that isn't the case.
This comment really caught my eye because I've been here before, never wanting to go out and shop with friends because you're too self-conscious about your size. However, you just have the wrong friends maybe. The friends I have now would never judge me regardless of anything, and once you finally realize that those people are truly toxic in your life, you have to first realize if it's like kind of like your own insecurities or if it's them making you feel that way, and if it's them making you feel that way, you definitely need to distance yourself from them because you only live once, and if you surround yourself with toxic people like that, it's just going to make your life miserable. I hope this helped.
So the complaint she's making isn't that shopping is less convenient. It's that she has to deal with her own feelings of insecurity while she shops. She also said, quote, "How would you feel if you walk into a store full of extremely trendy clothes and nothing fit you?" I can honestly say that I wouldn't care. And I do enjoy shopping. There are a bunch of clothes at Torrid that I think are very cute that I can't fit, but I'm not hurt by that. Which goes to show that this point is more about her dealing with her own negative feelings about her size, more so than anything else. And I recommend that you do that off camera instead of implying that you face some sort of systemic struggle because of these issues you have with your body.
I'm loving this series because of how many people are actually listening and caring about feelings of plus size people. So here I am back with part 3 of things you might not realize plus size people go through every day. Right now, I have something wrong with my knees. Doctors can't figure it out, but it causes me to have a limp because I'm in so much pain. And when I sit up and down, it causes even more pain. So I struggle to get out of seats. And I know people are looking at me, blaming it on my weight. Because if you're a fat person having medical conditions, no matter what's wrong, it's immediately because of your weight. Even doctors will tell you that. You have a foot pain, it's because of your weight. Your back's hurting, it's because of your weight. It's ridiculous. Next one is bathroom stalls. I was just at the mall the other day and I swear they try to make those stalls as small as they can to get the most in there. But that also means it's extremely hard to close the door. When you're a plus size person and the toilet paper roll thing's there and the door's right here and you gotta squeeze through like this much room, it's very difficult. And it leaves a lot of us having to use the handicap washroom, which is quite embarrassing, honestly. Lastly is simply just going out with friends. When I hang out with my friends, we usually like to hang out all day, which means we gotta stop somewhere and get food. And whenever I go out, I swear people are always looking at me. Like, even if they're not, I still feel like I'm being judged. Just because the society I grew up in and we live in today told me that I should be ashamed of my weight. Everyday life should not be this much of a struggle. Let me know if you want a part 4.
I don't think all medical problems fat people face could be solved by losing weight, but knee pain, back pain, and other joint pain? I think that it's more than reasonable for a doctor to ask if those problems are caused by being fat, especially if you are morbidly obese. And implying otherwise is ignoring some of the simplest problems your body can endure because of excess weight. And not fitting into bathroom stalls can definitely be a struggle, but it's still a consequence of your size and nothing else. And again, she talks about how insecure she is about her size because she thinks people are staring at her when she's outdoors. This one can't even be framed as a systematic problem. It's her own problem, and she's trying to say that it's a universal struggle for fat people when it just isn't. Overall, I don't think there's anything novel about what this woman says. If you traveled around fat acceptance spaces enough, saying that you can't lose weight because of PCOS or that thin people need to be more aware of the fact that fat people can't fit into stalls is not new. But this woman clearly shows what I have always believed about fat acceptance. The movement was started by a bunch of people, mostly women, who were deeply insecure about their size. And that insecurity morphed into a community, and that community turned toxic and went on to try to turn their insecurity into a systematic struggle, instead of the other way around like they try to frame it. And this woman's videos encapsulate that reality so well. It's clear that she's just a young woman trying to become more confident in her own body.
The thing I've realized while being in Hawaii is that no one cares what you wear to the beach. I'm from Vancouver, and basically the only time you go swimming is in the summer, and sometimes you don't even because it rains. And I feel like everybody there is a lot more judgmental with what you wear. But here, I have seen every shape and size wearing bikinis, one pieces, literally anything they want, and no one cares. Okay, like literally one of my biggest fears in the whole world is eating in front of guys. Like, I've been dating my boyfriend for a year and a half, and there's still foods that freak me out to eat in front of him. And that biggest food that scares me is chicken wings. But last night I did it. I ordered chicken wings and I ate it in front of him for the first time. And I didn't even have a panic attack.
She's trying to find herself by working through her issues, but she then tries to frame her problems as systematic struggles. But every time she does that, she undermines her own point. Walking into clothing stores is a fat woman struggle because I personally feel insecure walking into clothing stores. She says having to shop in the plus size section is a fat woman struggle because I personally feel like people are judging me for it. True systematic struggles are externally driven factors that end up leading to problems in an individual's life. But this is the opposite. She's having individual problems and she's trying to turn that into a systematic struggle that all fat women face. Listen to the things she says.
I was at Winners the other day and I had to go to a whole different section of the store just to find plus size clothes. It is beyond embarrassing going shopping with your friends and not even being able to shop in the same section as them because your clothes are on the other side of the store, hidden away in the back from everything else. And I don't really think I need to go into detail about how embarrassing that one is because I'm pretty sure it speaks for itself. And whenever I go out, I swear people are always looking at me. And it leads a lot of us having to use the handicap washroom, which is quite embarrassing, honestly. The second I walk into anywhere, I feel like everyone's eyes are on me.
She's essentially saying that without anyone doing or saying anything to her, she feels judged for simply existing. And while that sucks, that's nobody's problem to deal with but your own. My theory about this woman is that she went on the internet to find people to validate her struggles of being plus sized. She fell down the fat acceptance content trap and now parrots out fat acceptance talking points without really evaluating the validity of any of them. And it summarizes the entire pipeline from insecure plus size woman to fat activist, all by going down the fat acceptance misinformation funnel. At the very least, I can appreciate that this woman is honest about her insecurities. It's refreshing when you see a lot of fat activists that really ignore the fact that they are insecure and try to frame everything as fat oppression instead of acknowledging that they are insecure people. But yeah, I thought her content was very interesting, and I hope you found this video interesting. Also, I finally started using my Instagram, and I started to take comments from these videos where people talk about a lot of their stories, especially with like body dysmorphia and eating disorders and their experience with the fat acceptance community and things like that. And I'm taking quotes from them and putting them on my Instagram. These are interesting stories that I find, or just comments that I enjoyed reading, and I'm glad someone took time out of their day to write. I didn't put any usernames with the comments because I didn't want to reveal any identifying information, but you can go check that out, and I'll see you in the next video.